Now that the AEC is finally here, do we really know who our neighbors are? All our textbooks only speak of the glory of wars and the conquests and the victories over our neighbors. I had a long chat with the director of UNESCO Bangkok, Mr. Gwangjo Kim, on this subject matter.
Well, in a way, it is quite natural for any country, including ASEAN countries, to teach their version of history, past events, their version of understanding neighbors. That is any sovereign country, but it is quite natural, I would say. But on top of this, for AEC to be fully implemented, to be fully functional, in my humble opinion, they need to teach some kind of common history.
And what would be a better introduction to common history than the origins of the ASEAN people themselves? So I went over to speak with Professor Charles Hyam, an expert archaeologist on this region, with the question: where did the original ASEAN people, known as the Australo-Melanesians, come from?
Australo-Melanesian is a term applied to the indigenous hunter-gatherers of Southeast Asia. One finds them all over the place. We find them in upland Thailand, you find them in Vietnam, you find them, for example, in Kanchanaburi and right down into southern Thailand, into Malaysia. They occupied most of Southeast Asia progressively from their initial arrival about 50 or 60,000 years ago.
They are called by all sorts of names, such as the Orang Asli in Malaysia, the Ayeta people in the Philippines, the Aborigines in Australia, and are known as the Pi Tong Luang in Thailand.
Then there was a second major infiltration of people from East Asia. I mean by that the Yangtze and the Yellow River valleys. They brought with them rice cultivation, millet cultivation, domestic animals, and they infiltrated down through the major rivers and along the shores into Southeast Asia. And when they arrived, they began to interface, to intermarry, and to generally liaise with the local indigenous hunter-gatherers.
The one you're talking about, Austroasiatic, right, is from the mainland. Okay, there's another group of migration to a mainland, for example, the Sonoy. Okay, and they come from places like Vietnam, Thailand, and also Myanmar.
This overland migration occurred approximately the same time as the sea migration 6,500 years ago. The sea migration is called the out of Taiwan migration theory.
Okay, if you look at the map, okay, around 6,500 years ago, okay, a group of people moved to Philippines, okay, and then they travel down to Borneo, and one group will move to Peninsular Malaysia, the other group southern part to Indonesia, and another group to the Malaysia Islands and Micronesia Islands.
The fourth large-scale migration into Southeast Asia came in the form of the Dravidoid migration, also known as the Indians.
Indians began to settle in peninsular Thailand and indeed in Southeast Asia in general from about 350 BC. And they brought with them their genes, their ideas, how to make hard stone beads and make beads out of glass and that sort of thing.
The Indians also brought with them Hinduism. Their first civilization was in Malaysia at an archaeological site called Lembah Bujang near Penang Island. From the 2nd century, they spread Hinduism to the rest of Southeast Asia in Champa, in central Vietnam, all the way down past Borobudur till the island of Bali.
What is certain is the entire region here, okay, the entire region from Taiwan to Philippines and Indonesia, Malaysia, right? So all of this group, okay, they belong to a haplogroup called O. Okay, so basically, if you look at their physical affinity, they are about the same people. Actually, the only differences is our costumes, you know, the way we dress up. But if you ask anyone from Africa, you know, if they were to come to this region, they cannot differentiate the difference between a Thai, okay, a Malaysian Chinese, or any Indonesian, because physically they look the same. Our DNA is basically the same, the O haplogroup.
So at the end of the day, with this approach, the ASEAN countries, as I said, could have better understanding of each other and common understanding of the past, which I think is crucial for AEC as a single entity.
You see, the AEC is much more than just a celebration of economic unity. It is also a milestone in dismantling the mental borders created by previous colonial masters and governments. We are, after all, one big ASEAN family.